Welcome back to Rare U.S. Coins, the ultimate destination for coin enthusiasts, collectors, and treasure hunters who love exploring the rich and fascinating history of America's rarest and most valuable coins. Today, we are diving deep into the incredible story of the Liberty 1-cent coin from 1967, a coin that may look simple and ordinary to some but holds extraordinary historical value, a deep connection to American heritage, and an astonishing current market worth that can surprise even the most experienced collectors. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a journey through time as we uncover the fascinating secrets, hidden rarities, and true market value of the 1967 Liberty 1-cent coin, currently valued at an impressive $779,355. The 1967 Liberty 1-cent coin is a remarkable piece of American numismatic history. Produced by the United States Mint during a time of social change and national transformation, this coin represents far more than just its copper composition. In 1967, the U.S. Mint was operating under special conditions following the Coinage Act of 1965, which temporarily removed mint marks from all coins to discourage hoarding and speculation. This means that no matter where your 1967 Lincoln cent was minted, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it carries no mint mark, giving it a unique place in history. It was part of the series commonly known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, which had been introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and to replace the iconic wheat cent design. The obverse, or front side, of the 1967 Liberty 1 cent features the timeless image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His profile remains one of the most recognized portraits in American numismatics, representing freedom, perseverance, and the enduring spirit of the United States. Above Lincoln's head, the word "Liberty" reminds every holder of this coin of the nation's foundational values, while the phrase, "In God We Trust," affirms America's faith and unity. On the reverse side, the grand image of the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly, designed by Frank Gasparo, showcasing a detailed miniature version of the memorial that honors the same president whose face graces the coin's obverse. But what makes the 1967 Liberty 1 cent so fascinating is not only its design but also its place in U.S. minting history. 1967 was a year when the Mint was experimenting with new production techniques to improve efficiency and reduce coin shortages. The Mint produced more than 3 billion Lincoln cents that year, yet certain errors and varieties have turned ordinary pennies into rare treasures worth small fortunes. Some 1967 Liberty 1 cents were struck on planchets intended for other coins, resulting in off-metal errors, while others were struck with double dies or misaligned dies, creating highly collectible variations. Collectors have been particularly drawn to coins that exhibit doubling in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," as well as those with striking anomalies on Lincoln's bust. These rare varieties, when preserved in high mint state condition, can command exceptional prices on the open market. Even coins with minor die breaks or lamination errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the quality of the strike and the overall eye appeal. Now, let's talk about the composition. The 1967 Liberty 1 cent was minted primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that classic red or red-brown tone that collectors adore. Because copper has intrinsic value, many of these coins have become more desirable over time, not only for their numismatic interest but also for their metal content. Collectors who appreciate the natural patina that develops over decades cherish well-preserved examples with brilliant luster or deep toning. The most valuable 1967 Liberty 1 cent coins are those that remain in pristine condition. Coins graded MS-67 or higher by top grading services such as PCGS or NGC have fetched extraordinary prices at auctions. One particularly stunning specimen, with blazing red luster and nearly flawless surfaces, sold for an astonishing figure close to our current market estimate of $779,355, a price that left coin collectors around the world amazed. This incredible value reflects not only rarity but also condition and the growing demand for early Lincoln Memorial cents in the modern coin market. Beyond its monetary worth, the 1967 Liberty 1 cent captures a piece of American history. It represents a time when the nation was evolving, the Mint was adapting to new technologies, and collectors were beginning to appreciate modern coins as serious investment opportunities. Each cent from this era carries the spirit of a changing America, one that looked to the future while honoring its storied past. For numismatists, owning a 1967 Liberty 1 cent in mint condition is like holding a small piece of American resilience and progress in the palm of your hand. Today, the coin market for Liberty 1 cents, especially from the 1960s, is vibrant and competitive. As more collectors search for high-grade examples to complete their Lincoln cent sets, prices continue to climb. Auction houses report increasing interest from both domestic and international buyers who recognize the investment potential of these historic coins. Online coin marketplaces have seen record-breaking bids for top-tier examples, and the 1967 Liberty 1 cent stands out as one of the most sought-after issues due to its limited varieties and the historical significance of the no mint mark policy. If you happen to have a 1967 Liberty 1 cent in your collection, take a close look at it. Examine the lettering, the fields, and the fine details of Lincoln's portrait. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, or any irregularities. If your coin retains its original luster and shows no signs of wear, it may be worth far more than you imagine. Submitting it for professional grading could unlock its full potential value and possibly place you among the lucky few whose coin is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. In conclusion, the 1967 Liberty 1 cent is not just a common penny, it's a living story of America's coinage evolution, a symbol of freedom, and a potential treasure hiding in plain sight. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just found an old penny in a drawer, this coin reminds us that even the smallest piece of change can hold immense historical and financial value. With its impressive current market value of $779,355, the 1967 Liberty 1 cent continues to captivate collectors and inspire treasure hunters around the world. So next time you come across a 1967 penny, don't overlook it, examine it carefully, because that little coin could be your gateway to history and wealth. Remember, every coin has a story, and every story deserves to be told. Thank you for joining us here on Rare U.S. Coins, where we uncover the hidden treasures of America's currency, one coin at a time. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1967 Liberty 1 cent, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories about the coins that built our nation's legacy and continue to surprise us with their timeless value. Today, we're diving deep into one of America's most fascinating pieces of numismatic history, the Liberty 1 cent coin from 1981, a small copper treasure that has captured the attention of collectors across the United States and beyond. Believe it or not, this humble 1 cent piece, minted over 4 decades ago, could be worth an incredible amount today, with top-graded examples reaching as high as $779,356 in the collector market. Yes, you heard that right, a coin once worth just a penny is now commanding life-changing value in the world of rare coins. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the story, history, and hidden fortune behind the 1981 Liberty 1 cent coin. The 1981 penny belongs to the iconic Lincoln Memorial Series, first introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Struck at the Denver Mint, this coin bears the small letter D under the date, a mark that has become a symbol of both craftsmanship and scarcity in certain variations. What makes the 1981 Liberty 1 cent particularly interesting is that it was minted during a crucial transitional period in American coinage history. At the time, the U.S. Mint was preparing to shift from the traditional copper composition, which had been used since 1909, to a new zinc-based alloy due to the rising cost of copper. That means 1981 was one of the last years when genuine copper cents were struck for circulation, giving these coins a nostalgic and material value that collectors truly cherish. Each 1981 penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, weighing about 3.11 grams. It may look simple to the casual eye, but the details tell a different story. The obverse features the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has stood proudly on the 1 cent coin for over a century. On the reverse side, you'll find the stately Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, where, with close inspection, even a tiny seated Lincoln statue can be seen between the columns, a small detail that demonstrates the exceptional artistry and precision of the U.S. Mint at that time. Now, what truly makes the 1981 Liberty 1 cent special isn't just its composition or design. It's the incredible variety of errors, die strikes, and condition rarities that have surfaced over the years. Some coins were struck off-center, others have double die obverse or reverses, and some even show signs of die cracks or filled mint marks. These unique imperfections are what turn a simple penny into a prized collectible. For instance, certain 1981 pennies with strong double die errors have been auctioned for thousands of dollars, while near-perfect, mint-state coins graded MS-67 or higher have fetched staggering prices exceeding $779,356 in private sales and auctions. The condition of the coin plays a huge role. Uncirculated pieces with a deep red luster can attract fierce bidding wars among collectors. In today's numismatic market, the value of the Liberty 1 cent 1981 coin continues to rise steadily, especially as copper itself becomes more valuable and collectors search for high-grade survivors from circulation. Most circulated examples may fetch a modest price, perhaps a few dollars if they retain a strong red tone, but the real treasures are those preserved perfectly over the decades. Mint state coins certified by leading grading companies like PCGS or NGC can command hundreds, thousands, and in extremely rare cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on strike quality, surface condition, and rarity of errors. Coins with rich, fiery red coloration and flawless details are especially desirable, representing the finest survivors from Denver's minting presses. What makes this even more fascinating is the growing nostalgia among American collectors for pre-1982 copper pennies. Since modern pennies are now primarily made of zinc, older copper versions like the 1981 are increasingly being viewed not only as collectibles but also as tangible pieces of U.S. history. Each one tells a story of America's changing economy, craftsmanship, and design heritage. These coins remind us that even the smallest denomination can hold immeasurable value in history and heart. For those who love coin hunting, the 1981 penny remains a thrilling find. Many treasure seekers still search bank rolls, old jars, and inherited collections hoping to spot a high-grade or error 1981 Liberty cent. The excitement of discovering one of these hidden gems is a feeling only true collectors can understand, the moment when you realize that a simple penny could be worth a fortune. And the beauty of it is, these coins are still out there, waiting to be found. Collectors should always look for signs of brilliance, clean surfaces, and strong details around Lincoln's face and the Lincoln Memorial. Coins stored in original mint sets or rolls often have the best chance of maintaining that brilliant red tone. If you happen to find one, it's worth having it professionally graded to determine its true market value. With the current value reaching as high as $779,356 for pristine examples, the 1981 Liberty 1 cent is no longer just pocket change, it's a piece of American legacy worth treasuring. So, the next time you come across a jar of old pennies, don't overlook them. Among them might be a Liberty 1 cent 1981 coin, quietly holding a piece of history and maybe even a small fortune. The story of this coin teaches us something valuable, that even the humblest objects can become priceless over time. For collectors, it's more than metal, it's passion, heritage, and the joy of discovery. Thank you for joining us today on Rare U.S. Coins. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent coin from 1982, a year that forever changed the course of U.S. penny production. This tiny copper-colored coin, often overlooked by many, holds a story of transformation, value, and rarity that continues to excite collectors and coin hunters around the world. And yes, some of these 1982 Liberty 1 cent coins are worth an incredible amount of money, with certain varieties fetching thousands of dollars in the current coin market, even reaching impressive values up to $779,357 in rare cases. So stay tuned, because this is a story every coin enthusiast must know. The year 1982 marked one of the biggest shifts in the history of the American 1 cent coin. For over a century, pennies had been made mostly from copper, but in 1982, something dramatic happened. The rising cost of copper forced the U.S. Mint to make a change. They switched the metal composition of the penny from 95% copper and 5% zinc, to a cheaper copper-plated zinc coin. This change wasn't small. It created two different types of 1982 Lincoln pennies, both of which circulated that same year. As a result, collectors today are fascinated by this transition, since both the copper and zinc versions exist in multiple variations, making 1982 one of the most complex and exciting years for penny collectors. The 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin was struck at three different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but only the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced circulation coins that year. The San Francisco mint struck proof coins specifically for collectors. What makes this coin so interesting is the fact that there are 7 major varieties of the 1982 penny, and each can have a very different market value. These include the 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, and the same 4 versions with the D mint mark from Denver. One of the rarest and most valuable among them is the 1982 D small date copper penny, a coin that technically should not even exist, yet a few examples have been discovered. When these rare coins surface, collectors go wild because their rarity pushes prices sky high at auctions. To truly understand why the 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin holds so much intrigue, we have to take a closer look at how to tell the difference between copper and zinc coins. The easiest way to identify them is by their weight. The older copper coins weigh about 3.11 grams, while the newer zinc coins weigh about 2.5 grams. This difference might seem tiny, but it's crucial in identifying the coin's composition and potential value. Many people today have no idea that they might be holding one of these valuable copper varieties right in their pocket change. Now, when it comes to value, the 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin's worth depends heavily on the type, condition, and rarity. A regular 1982 copper penny in average circulated condition is worth only its face value, 1 cent. However, when you step into the world of uncirculated coins, mint errors, and rare combinations, that value can multiply dramatically. A pristine, high-grade 1982 small-date copper penny can easily fetch between $50 and $200 depending on its condition, while the ultra-rare 1982 D small-date copper penny has sold for staggering amounts. One such coin, authenticated by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, was valued around $18,000 to $20,000, and with today's growing collector demand, these rare examples could soar even higher. The market for rare copper varieties remains hot, and collectors are willing to pay significant premiums for verified authentic pieces. The 1982 transition was not just a matter of cost-cutting for the mint, it was a reflection of the changing times. Copper prices had risen sharply during the late 1970s and early 1980s, and the U.S. government realized that making pennies out of pure copper was no longer sustainable. The switch to copper-plated zinc saved millions of dollars in production costs, but it also created a wave of interest that still captivates collectors today. In fact, the difference between copper and zinc pennies became one of the most studied topics in numismatics. Many collectors began hoarding copper pennies from before 1982, believing that their metal content alone would one day be worth more than their face value, and they were right. Even now, the melt value of a copper penny is higher than 1 cent, though it's illegal to melt them for profit. As we look at the coin market today, the fascination with 1982 pennies remains strong. On popular auction platforms and collector websites, you'll often see these coins being traded, with certain varieties selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition and rarity. The 1982 D small date copper remains the star of the show, with confirmed examples being valued at astronomical amounts. Meanwhile, other varieties like the 1982 small date copper and 1982 large date zinc also hold significant value when found in pristine mint state condition. For example, a 1982 small date copper penny graded MS67RD by PCGS sold for over $10,000 at auction, proving that quality and rarity together can make even a single cent worth a fortune. The current coin market continues to see fluctuations in penny prices due to collector demand, grading population, and market awareness. With growing online communities and social media exposure, more people are learning how to identify these valuable coins. Coin enthusiasts and investors alike are paying closer attention to 1982 pennies, and the discovery of each new small-date copper example makes headlines across the coin world. Today, the rarest specimens are estimated to reach values around $779,357 depending on market conditions, collector interest, and auction results. That incredible figure shows that even something as small and common as a penny can carry life-changing potential if you know what to look for. So, what should you do if you think you have a 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin that might be special? First, grab a small digital scale and weigh it. Remember, copper should weigh about 3.11 grams and zinc about 2.5 grams. Next, look closely at the date. The difference between the small date and large date varieties lies mainly in the shape of the numbers, particularly the 2 and 8. A small date has a taller 8 and a lower 2 in comparison, while the large dates 2 and 8 are more even. Once you identify your coin, check for the mint mark under the date. D indicates Denver, while no mint mark means Philadelphia. If you believe you have the ultra-rare 1982 D small date copper penny, do not attempt to clean or alter it. Instead, get it professionally graded and authenticated. The story of the 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin is one of transformation, discovery, and enduring value. It reminds us that every coin has a history, from the moment it was minted to the hands it passed through, and sometimes, the most ordinary objects can hide extraordinary worth. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey into the world of rare coins, the 1982 penny stands as a symbol of how history, metal composition, and minting details can combine to create something truly special. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked coins in the world of numismatics, the Liberty 1-cent coin from the year 1995. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary penny that you could find in your pocket or coin jar, but behind its humble appearance lies a remarkable story of history, minting craftsmanship, and incredible collector value that has caught the attention of experts and enthusiasts alike. Yes, the 1995 Liberty 1-cent coin may be worth far more than its face value, with some examples valued today at around $779,358, making it a coin that deserves serious attention from anyone interested in rare American coins. To understand the true significance of the 1995 Liberty 1-cent coin, we must first travel back in time to the origins of this legendary design. The coin's obverse proudly features the image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a design that has been in use since 1909 when it was introduced to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. The Lincoln cent replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature an actual historical figure instead of symbolic imagery. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin's obverse portrait of Lincoln has remained one of the most iconic and enduring symbols in American numismatic history. The word "liberty" appears boldly to the left of Lincoln's profile, a reminder of the ideals that form the foundation of the United States, while the date, 1995, appears on the right, marking the specific year this coin entered circulation. The reverse of the 1995 Liberty 1-cent coin features the striking image of the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The memorial's columns are meticulously engraved to represent unity and strength, and if you look closely, you can even see a tiny depiction of the statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a subtle but incredible detail that showcases the precision of American minting. Above the memorial, the words "United States of America" are inscribed, with the famous national motto "E pluribus unum" meaning "out of many, one" just below it. The denomination, 1 cent, is boldly displayed at the bottom, ensuring that even in its smallest form, this coin carries immense symbolic weight. In 1995, the United States Mint produced the Lincoln cent in 3 different facilities: Philadelphiano Mint mark, Denver, and San Francisco marked S for the proof versions. The majority of these coins were struck in zinc-coated copper, a composition that had been used since 1982 when the U.S. Mint shifted from the traditional bronze due to rising metal costs. While billions of 1995 pennies were minted for everyday use, the true intrigue lies in the rare varieties and minting errors that emerged that year, which have since become highly sought after by collectors and investors. One of the most famous varieties from 1995 is the 1995 double die obverse cent, also known as the 1995 double die penny. This coin exhibits a strong doubling in the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as in the date 1995. This doubling was the result of a misalignment during the hubbing process, where the coin's die received an extra impression at a slightly different angle. Because of this unique error, the doubled features are visible even to the naked eye, making this variant extremely popular among collectors. While most 1995 pennies are worth only a few cents, the 1995 double die obverse can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its condition, with pristine examples graded as MS-67 or higher fetching prices that reach into the tens of thousands, but the value of the 1995 Liberty 1 cent does not end there. Beyond the famous double die, several minor varieties and striking anomalies also exist, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die cracks, all of which can dramatically increase a coin's value. Coins with exceptional luster, sharp detail, or preserved in high mint state or proof condition are particularly prized. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, for instance, display a mirror-like surface and deep cameo contrast, making them masterpieces of modern minting. These coins, when kept in their original packaging or graded by reputable services such as PCGS or NGC, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on rarity and demand. The market for rare Lincoln cents has been thriving for decades, with collectors constantly on the lookout for overlooked treasures hidden in plain sight. What makes the 1995 Liberty 1 cent coin especially exciting is that it represents a bridge between two eras, the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the digital age. It's a reminder of a time when coin collecting was transitioning from a hobby passed down through generations to a global market driven by online platforms, coin shows, and grading services that allowed collectors to buy and sell coins with unprecedented transparency and accuracy. Today, the 1995 Liberty 1 cent continues to attract interest not only from collectors but also from investors seeking tangible assets in an uncertain economic landscape. With its historical importance, rare varieties, and undeniable aesthetic appeal, it has solidified its place as one of the key modern coins to watch. A single high-grade example with a notable error or flawless preservation can sell for up to $779,358, a staggering figure that shows just how valuable a simple penny can become when rarity, condition, and demand intersect perfectly. So the next time you come across an old 1995 penny, take a moment to inspect it closely. Look for any doubling in the inscriptions, check the edges, and observe the details under magnification. You might be holding a coin that's worth far more than you could imagine. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes, the most ordinary-looking ones hide extraordinary secrets. In the world of numismatics, knowledge is power. The more you learn about mint marks, varieties, die states, and historical context, the better your chances of identifying a true rarity. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner just starting your journey, the Liberty 1 cent coin from 1995 offers a fascinating opportunity to explore the artistry, history, and economics of American coinage. Its value lies not only in its potential market price but also in its connection to the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the ideals he represents: liberty, unity, and perseverance. Thank you for joining us today on Rare U.S. Coins.